Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. Subscribe, like the video and share it with your friends if you're interested in tennis content. There is a lot of new content that will be coming your way. As you can see, I'm posting almost every single day, so if you're interested in tennis in any way, subscribe. So we have some big news in the past 24 hours. One of the biggest news is that Novak Djokovic will participate in the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. It was looking as though Djokovic won't participate in the Olympic Games. Right after the Wimbledon final, he kinda alluded to the fact that the restrictions might be just too much and that not many people from his team would be able to travel with him, and that would prevent him from feeling comfortable enough to play in the Olympics. But yesterday he decided to announce that indeed he will be playing in the Olympics. And out of all that he has done in 2021, this is the biggest question mark for me. Olympics are even the bigger question mark than the US Open, just because the preseason and the preparation tournaments are basically non-existent for somebody that wins Wimbledon in this case. And if you know anything about tennis, if you're not just a casual viewer, you know that the pre-season of the Grand Slams, those smaller tournaments and ATP Masters tournaments are the biggest preparation for the Grand Slams. The ideal thing, especially for our big three that are aging, definitely is to play one tournament right before the big event. In this case, Olympics is considered as a big event just because Djokovic has the potential to make it to the Golden Slam. And if we look at the past, Djokovic hasn't had much success at the Olympics, and that just based on Djokovic's standards. Winning a bronze medal at the Olympics at any kind of sport is a big feat on its own, but when you consider everything that he has done in his career up until now, bronze medal at the Olympics is not something that you're going to say uh, 20 years from now point out as a big success of his. So this one could be tricky for him because we know that Roland Garros and Wimbledon, if we're being realistic, took a lot out of him. Not just physically but also mentally. So predicting what is going to happen at the Olympics is quite tricky, and I'm not going to do that. Let's just see what happens. Anyways, I see it as of much less importance than winning US Open, definitely. And based on the response from his fans, when he was 50-50 about going there, a lot of fans were actually in favor of him not going and just being able to prepare for the US Open properly. The second news that we got is that the big three will potentially clash in Toronto as a preparation tournament for US Open. This is just a potential draw that we got from Toronto, from, I don't know the official name of the tournament, and Dominic Thiem is also in the draw. So the defending champion from the last year's US Open is going to play at US Open, as it seems. Even if they show up at Toronto, all three, all four of them, you shouldn't take that tournament too seriously because they are just trying to raise their form for US Open. They are just trying out tactics and they are adapting to the surface. Nothing more than that, definitely, at least in my opinion. So after giving you the biggest news about the big three that we have for right now, I want to discuss their chances at the US Open. I want to discuss it just because Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal are being written off left, right, and center. And they are being dismissed primarily by casual viewers or new viewers, or in this case, by the Nola fam, if I'm being honest, because we are all happy that Novak is doing what he's doing, but fandoms tend to be unrealistic and delusional. Just because Roger and Rafa suffered some tough losses this year doesn't mean that all of a sudden they are not the greats of our sport and that they don't have the possibility to pull off something like winning US Open. In the case of Roger Federer, his chances are indeed very slim, but I totally can imagine Roger Federer just going out, shortening every single point, playing that quick blitz tennis that doesn't require too much of him physically, and winning this trophy with a lucky draw. Let's say a favorable draw that, for example, Djokovic had in the Wimbledon. And I'm saying that just because I know how much of a champion he is, and I hate that he is being written off just like that. When it comes to Nadal, not everybody has written him off, especially those among his fans. and they have the right in this situation. Rafael Nadal is known in the world of tennis as the phoenix that rises from the ashes. And if we are going to go by his previous showings at the US Open, it is his second favorite tournament. It is his second most successful major. Just because he suffered that loss from Djokovic in Roland Garros doesn't mean that all of a sudden Rafael Nadal loses the rest of his chances till the end of the year. His pulling out of Wimbledon and Djokovic winning the title at Wimbledon overshadowed the fact that Nadal is working, I suppose, tirelessly to be in form for the US Open. Just imagine the situation in which he wins the US Open. Djokovic managed to grab the first 3 slams of the year, and everybody has written off Nadal, and he works his ass off to come as prepared as he can at the US Open and wins it. In that situation, he is above Roger and Novak when it comes to slams. This could potentially be huge. And if we take into account that besides Roland Garros, this is the slowest surface of the majors that we have, writing Nadal off just doesn't make sense. There is also a possibility of Dominic Thiem or anybody from the next gen rising their form to the max and beating some of our champions in the US Open. So I wouldn't bet on that Golden Slam or Calendar Slam just yet until we see how the things are going and what Djokovic is going to do in the Olympics and in Toronto if he shows up there. The point of the entire talk is just calm down and let's see what happens. So yeah, that's pretty much it about this video. Subscribe to my channel. You'll see me in the next one. Bye guys.